Good evening, hello and welcome to Viewpoint. I'm Anusha Soni. The city of Bengaluru is literally sinking. It's indeed one of the worst spell of rainfall since 1971, for which the city is thoroughly and clearly unprepared. Now, the founder and CEO of an edutech company, an academy, Gaurav Munjal, tweeted out he had to be rescued on a tractor from his residence, which was flooded. The Hindustan Aeronautics office in Bengaluru was shut down because the water had to be pumped out. Those are the visuals on your screen. This is one of the leading companies. The city has come to a screeching halt. The tech and innovation hub of India, a city of entrepreneurs and innovators, does not have its drains silted or any kind of preparation to effectively manage this crisis. The usual political blame game has begun. We heard that over the day. Chief Minister Basuraj Bommai has blamed the Congress party. The Congress has called Bommai government a failed one. We don't need this blame game anymore. We need political accountability. And we must demand our elected representatives to be prudent and mature in solutions. Our legislators need to give us something better than political blame game and address the issue of climate change in urban planning. Because it's here and it's happening. First up, a special report.
This is the famous IT corridor of Bengaluru, home to tech giants, startups and innovators. But after 3 days of heavy rains, it is underwater. Roads have turned into rivers, buses have been replaced with boats, and the so-called Silicon Valley of India is now a swampland.
You can see the complete outer ring road is waterlogged, and that's the kind of situation that has been created here because of the heavy downpour. The traffic police are trying to divert the traffic from here. They are requesting people to not choose this particular road to travel.
As always, it's the citizens who bear the brunt. Cars are submerged in the basements of posh housing complexes. Tractors are the only means of transport now, whether to rescue people or to take them to work. The civic apathy is taking a toll and also taking lives. 23-year-old Akhila was struggling to ride her two-wheeler through knee-deep water. She lost her balance and held onto an electric pole but got electrocuted to death. While anger is growing against the Karnataka government for mismanagement and negligence, the Chief Minister is busy blaming his predecessors.
This is done because of maladministration and totally unplanned administration of the previous government, Congress government.
While the politicians pass the buck, the scenes that we've witnessed in Bengaluru in the last 72 hours have put the spotlight on the damage caused by unplanned development in the rapidly growing city. 500 stormwater drains have been encroached upon, and that has now left the city drowning.
Almost all the places where the water was stagnating and people were getting waterlogged, almost all of them are over. This is the worst affected area right now because the Raj Kalve is obstructed. We have started the removal of obstruction since morning.
So who has betrayed Bengaluru?
Well, that's the question that we are asking today. Who has betrayed Bengaluru and our cities? Call us on the number flashing on your screen right now and share your views. If you're living in Bengaluru, what are the issues you're facing? Do you have access to drinking water? Is there sanitation around you? Or you continue to face the problem of waterlogging? Multiple cities and areas have faced these issues in the past, but in the city of Bengaluru, we are witnessing this mayhem unabated. Joining us on the broadcast is Mr. Nagaraju Yadav. He is the spokesperson of the Karnataka Congress. We also have Mr. Madhuvan Rao, who is the spokesperson of Karnataka BJP. R.K. Mishra, who is a policy advisor and urban expert, is also joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Rao, I'm coming to you first. Bengalurians today are complaining on Twitter and social media that their houses are literally unfit to live anymore. They have to be rescued on a tractor. Those visuals have gone viral of an EduTech CEO being rescued on a tractor. Basic access to drinking water will become a problem and has become a problem in multiple areas of Bengaluru. What is your government doing? Is blaming the Congress enough?
First of all, good evening.
Good evening.
My first reaction is this. Now, are we to blame the incumbent government is the first question. The second question what arises to me is this. This all issues which has come up now, it is not something which has come up over a period of just 5 months or 2 years or 3 years. It is the accumulated errors of the previous, so to say, the Congress governments, what has happened. Now, if you were to ask me why am I to blame Congress, it is a fact. Because that's one of the maladministrations of the Congress government. I remember we are just talking about 2022. Let me go back to 2005, October 2005, where there was a similar situation which happened. And what happened after that? Was there any correction factor which was done? No correction factors done. 2013 also the same thing happened. What correction factors happened?
But sir, going into the history, how will that really help us?
I'm telling you.
Let's believe Congress was wrong.
Madam,
Today the people living in Bengaluru and other parts of Karnataka facing this situation will require your intervention, sir.
I agree. I'm with it. The problem is how to address it. Now, let me tell you, Bangalore generally gets around 800 to 900 millimeters of rain every year. It's called as 60 rain days. But now, just from June to July, we have got 800 millimeters of rain. How do you take it? Now, the point also what I want to make is rampant urbanization. And where are the culverts? Where are the Rajkalways? We had 3 valleys. All the 3 valleys have been submerged now. We had
Sir, today on this broadcast in the next 30 minutes, I want to address the issue that the people are facing on the ground and what are the solutions that you can offer right now as the ruling government of the day. Political blame game will continue to go on. Rajni, sir, we also have citizens. We also have citizens from Bengaluru calling us on the broadcast. I'm sure they have question for you. Rajni from Bengaluru and Narayan from Bengaluru are joining us on the show. Rajni, first to you. Tell us what the issues are that you're facing.
Yeah, there's a lot of water, going on submerged. It is, there is no blame game here. It is on ground we have to do work. If you keep blaming this government, that government, the present government has to do something.
Yeah. Has the municipal authorities in your area been proactive? Did they respond to your request? That's what I want to know from you, Rajni.
Yeah. We have to, local authorities, everybody has to take care.
Okay. Narayan from Bengaluru and Rambardhan is also joining us. Narayan, first to you. What are the issues you're facing?
See, the thing is, totally flood of water in Koramangala. See, देखिए बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट अच्छा काम कर रहा था मगर पता नहीं क्या है वो कांग्रेस का भी ब्लेम कर रहे हैं वो कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट ही कुछ नहीं किया करके देखो दिस इज द करंट सिचुएशन अभी आज क्या है क्या नहीं है पानी जब कैसे निकालना है
जी
यही बहुत जरूरी है
जी मैं ये सारे सवाल उन तक ले जाऊंगी आई हैव मोर कॉलर्स कमिंग इन बट बिफोर दैट मिस्टर राव once again I'll take that question to you. What will you do about it? Let's presume for the sake of the argument that the Congress party has not done its job. How will you ensure that in the next 7 days there is proper cleanliness which is done in the city, there is no overflowing of water, adequate access to drinking water is given to the citizens of Bengaluru, residents of Bengaluru?
I agree this is a very serious situation. At the same time, the Chief Minister has already released 300 crores to manage the flood situation only for the Bangalore city. Now, considering that, there have been efforts made by the BBMP and all the authorities, forget the past. Now we are doing all the required things to at least send the water to them, at least to clear off the water to them, because you need pumps to get off the water, because there are places where the water is not even going, it's stuck because of the construction work what is happening, and also because of there is the 100-meter culvert which has come into just about 30 meters. So all those things have been taken into consideration. Those issues have been addressed now. Now presently the issue is about the rescue efforts. Wherever requirements of water, wherever the requirements of food is necessity, that have been taken into consideration for the purpose of the giving it to the all the.
I have more callers with me on the show, and I'm going to ask them if the government is doing enough. Before that, Mr. Nagaraju Yadav, you can respond to the allegation that has been made by the Chief Minister and Mr. Madhu N. Rao that you did not do enough during your tenure. And it's the accumulated mistakes for which the citizens are paying right now. Respond to that.
I'm so upset with the statement of the Chief Minister, who's supposed to be the responsible Chief Minister of Karnataka State, and he's in charge of Bangalore City today, and he's talking such words. The BJP government is in power past 3.5 years. It is not the overnight these things have happened. I'm frankly telling you, Met Department in Karnataka State had said very clearly in the month of July that in September there will be floods in Bangalore. Please take precautions. They have not acted upon that. Rather than that, they were busy with some other thing called Jatka cut, halal cut, and hijab, and these kind of things. They spent the time. Polarization of politics.
Mr. Yadav, you made a pertinent point, and I'm going to take those questions to the BJP spokesperson as well. Before that, please tell me how many of your MLAs and local corporators are on the ground helping the people who are suffering right now? Is your party doing the work? Is your party doing the work?
100% my MLAs, Congress party MLAs on the streets, they're day and night, they're working. For example, you take Ramlinga Reddy, who was Bengaluru Development Minister earlier. He's day and night, he's giving food packets and he's meeting the people, he's calling the officials, getting things done. The main idea is now is that the administration is in control of BJP and they know a political will and accountability of BJP
No, of course I'm going to hold them politically accountable. That's what we're doing. But I think right now this is the time that all of us should do what we can to help the citizens who are suffering, and that's why I'm asking that question to you.
Every political representative to take care of these things and take care of the citizens of Bangalore
I
or
hope
Karnataka or
the
India.
corporators from the Congress party are also on the ground.
What I'm trying to say, the companies which are paying the high tax to the Karnataka state treasury are being targeted today.
Okay, I want to bring in more callers. Rambhadran from Bengaluru and Abhishek from Bengaluru are also joining us on the broadcast. Rambhadranji, first to you, what are you facing? What are your concerns? Is the government doing enough?
Yeah, I do not accept the blame game. Exclusively people calling the present government. I have been there for the last 27 years. I have never found anybody taking care of as far as the housing construction approval plans are concerned. It's given in such a nasty manner. Indiscriminate construction took place and consequently no space was left and the roads were totally occupied. Yeah. It's an encroachment on the public place. Consequently, our vehicle was struck day before yesterday. It took long hours for people to rescue us.
Okay.
Two-wheel one side.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for voicing those issues, sir. I will take them to the political guests with us on the broadcast. Abhishek from Bengaluru is also with us. Abhishek, your concerns, is the government, are the authorities doing enough?
Yes, Anusha, thanks and good evening. So I think the question that we need to ask is, does this government even have the will or the skill to solve the problem? I think as far as the will is concerned, we have seen that neither the Congress government nor the BJP government has any will to do that. Because all they are doing is
they're passing the buck. We've lost that line with Abhishek, but I want to go to Mr. R.K. Mishra as well. Sir, the citizens are clearly exasperated. They've had enough of this political blame game and they do not want to be a part of it. They want to know who's going to solve their problems. And it seems like that our political class is not ready to address those questions head on. Because if there was a warning, the Met Department had told them that you could face a situation like this, the administration should have been ready to some degree, if not fully.
So I think a couple of things. First, very disappointing, especially coming from this chief minister, who's a sensible and very suave person. Blaming Congress is not either going to get him any votes, nor is going to get any sympathy with the public.
Yeah.
Only incompetent people who don't have the ability to fix problems always blame it. His government has been for 3.5 years. And BJP spokesperson also starting on that note is not in good taste. I think my request is that please don't do this because you have been the 3.5 years. Before that also you have been in power. You also haven't done it. And of course, Congress, JDS, nobody has done it. Otherwise, it will not be a mess. Coming to this problem, July, yes, of course. And what happened on Outer Ring Road, it is simple. A politician's property has encroached on the Raj Kalve. And God knows which party he belongs to. He's an MP. And then on that, 10-15 meter wide Raj Kalve, which is a canal, has been made into 3 meter with BDS planning problem because the 15 meter wide drain was made to pass through 3 meter wide 3 pipes under the 80 meter wide
and sir, as you're saying, it's a classic script of how the constructions happen in this country, unchecked, unplanned. We saw those demolitions happening in Noida. Yeah, we saw those demolitions happening in Noida, and I hope that is a example for many other builders and authorities across the country. We blame the builders, but what about the authorities? Mr. Rao, I'm coming back to you before I take more callers on the show. It's not going down well. I mean, I'm sure as BJP you don't care about what the Congress party thinks, but I'm sure you care what people think in the state, and they don't like the tone and tenor in which the government is talking right now. They want solution. You've been in power for 3.5 years. You had a warning from the Met Department. Why weren't you prepared?
Well, first of all, I do not want to get into the political blame game. At the same point of time, we should also understand that this has not happened over a period of 3.5 years. Point number one. Point number two, see, if you are trying to understand and if you're trying to ask a question as to what can be done now, we cannot go and demolish the buildings right away, which has been built along the lake paths.
Okay. So, sir, answer a simple question. When there was a warning in July, from July to now, what was done? Just tell me this simply, sir.
Even in such a scenario, there has been an unprecedented rain, not to this extent we were thought. It was an unprecedented rain of around 800 millimeters, which has come in just about 3 months. So it is a big rain. In fact, I will tell you, the rains which has come now in 2022, only in August it is 370 millimeter, which is just about one.
Did you have a prediction, sir? Did you have a prediction to guide you?
August 98.
Did you have a prediction to guide you?
No. I'm just trying to tell you that if you are asking me what is the way forward, there are a lot of things which we need to take it forward. For example, we need to clean the lake bed. We need to destroy some buildings. We need to take a lot of action with regard to the culverts.
That's what I was trying to ask you, that what did you do in the last 2 to 3 months? I will bring in more citizens into the discussion.
Would you suggest that it could be done in 2 months?
No, I accept it cannot be done in 2 months. I accept that everything cannot be done in 2 months. But yes, some things can be done in 2 months.
I was just listening to one of the viewers asking as to who is the owner of the place where the eco space is there. It belongs to one of the JDS MPs, if I'm right, Bhupendra Reddy. Now, how was the permissions were given? I am asking you, in 2013 itself, there was a report by the.
But sir, you've not given me satisfactory answers. KG Mohan from Bengaluru and Ravi from Bengaluru. I have 2 more callers. I would request all the political representatives to listen to the citizens more keenly. Mr. Mohan, what are your concerns?
Anusha, thanks for giving me an opportunity. I just want you to give me a patient hearing for about 30 seconds. One, there are 3 problems. This is not an entire Bangalore issue. It's a pocket of Bangalore, 20% impacted. Number 2, this 20% of Bangalore came up in the last 15 years.
Interesting.
And in these 15 years, there has been a political nexus at the builder, the politician, the BD authority, and the tax collector BBMP. Unless this nexus is broken, things will not change.
Okay.
The last part which I want to tell you is that during this week, I just stay a kilometer from Eco Space. 2 kilometers in Yamlur and 1 kilometer Sarjapur Road, which are completely inundated. The traffic police in this area have gone well beyond their call of duty to address the issue. So you asked about SDRF, NDRF, they're doing a phenomenal job. Last point, please allow Mr. R.K. Mishra to speak. He's an urban expert of high repute.
I take that request and I will go to him next. I want to bring in another caller. Ravi from Bengaluru is also with us on the broadcast. Ravi, please go ahead. All right. I think we've lost that line. Mr. Mishra, I have a request from the caller that I should give you more time and space to express your ideas. What is it that the government should have done from the point that they had the warning to this point? They had roughly about 2 months. What could they have done? Of course, not everything, but something, right?
So I think it's very clear. See, it's credit to Yedurappa ji who allowed a project called K100, stormwater drain, which is start from Majestic, which is center of the city, comes to Bengaluru. 100-odd crore project where we are remodeling the whole stormwater drain, removing the sewage from the drain, desilting, and it's coming beautifully. Now we had 2-3 other projects, which one was a road project, high density corridor. This government, after Mr. Bombay came, the project was cancelled. 2 other projects, same BJP government. Now, if the K100 is one major drain, there are 5 other major drains. We should fix all the drains. Then Bangalore, 2 major lakes, which are last lakes, Bengaluru and Varthur. Work is going on for 2 years. And because these were the ones, you remember Frothing Lake in Bangalore? Initially when there was there, but now nobody's bothered. No project in Bangalore is moving because the government's machinery's ability, people are encroaching, people will not move, roads can't be built. The government is scared or in hand with the land mafia, with the builders. Officers are scared of even one guy can say, oh, it's my land. He'll not come.
I'm going to take those questions. I'm going to take those questions to Mr. Rao. But Mr. Yadav, you had a point to make. Please go ahead and then I'll bring in Mr. Rao into the discussion.
Yeah. See, for example, this is definitely not going to be a political blame game. Let me tell you very clearly, 17 kilometers stretch of road from Silkport to KR-Puram. There are so many number of companies which are there, which are paying the taxpayers, and they are creating jobs to the Indian youngsters today. All the companies have been flooded today. We are very, we have to be ashamed being a politician. This is going on. The Congress, when Siddaramaiah government was there, very particular to handle these issues in such a way that these things cannot go on like this, and we had earmarked buildings to demolish. By the time we lost the government, this government who came in the past
Mr. Rao, I'm coming to you, and these are questions from the Congress party. We have an expert called Mr. R.K. Mishra of good repute with us on the broadcast, and this is the question that the callers are also asking you, that you have been in power for the last 3.5 years. What is it that you've done? There are some very important drainage projects and lake projects that Mr. Mishra was talking about that have not been moving. There's also a nexus of the land mafia with the government allegedly which is running. Clearly, you couldn't have done anything about this in the last 2 months, but in the last 2 years, there is much more that the government could have done.
Well, it's I respect Sir's view on this. Now, my point is this. Now, if you have to take any action with regard to all those things, people will go to court. There'll be stay orders. You expect us to go and demolish the buildings as it is?
No,
like
sir,
that?
We're not asking you for demolition of building. We are asking you to build more drains. We are asking you to take care of the lakes better. We are asking you to ensure that the proper silting work by the administration is done. Let's move from the demolition. Let's move forward from demolition.
Whenever there is an action to be taken, there is some sort of a hindrance. Now, my point is only this. It's not that we are not taking any action. Perhaps, please kindly allow me. Perhaps the work what is being done or it is to be taken, it is perhaps less compared to the magnitude of the problems what is happening or what has happened. Now just try to understand.
I agree with you that the flooding that we have seen or the rainfall that we have seen is unprecedented in the last since 1971. That's what the commissioner concerned also told me from the municipal authority. But you had a prediction. I am sure you cannot be 100% prepared, but some degree of preparation.
You think it's going to be floods in Bangalore in the month of September?
Nagaraj Yadav ji, let's not make it political here. Kindly don't.
It's not political. You have spent 3,200 crore rupees.
Let's not take
stormwater drains still in the same condition.
On this. Please
it's
kindly
completely breakdown of administration. The system background.
Okay, one at a time, please. One at a time, please. One at a time, please. Mr. Rao, please go ahead. Mr. Rao, please go ahead.
Let's not take pot shots on this. I am telling you, yes, there is a need. We are doing it. And
I don't think I've got satisfactory answers from you, Mr. Rao. I want to bring in our callers. Murli from Bengaluru and Mukund from Bengaluru are calling us. Murli, first to you. Your thoughts. What are you facing right now?
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. And both these two guys have come out with pack of lies. The reality of life that is actually getting affected in Bangalore is that all the government institutions like BBMP, which is in charge of public roads, and BDA in charge of development of the Bangalore city, they are the most corrupt bodies today in Bangalore. Everybody knows about it. And secondly, all MLAs and corporators in Bengaluru have taken the internal Bangalore roads as their personal properties, and they have become their pension funds.
And they should have been on the street right now helping everyone.
Let all the entire internal Bangalore roads be handed over to National Highway Authority, so that, believe me, this bloody corruption will go away from this Bangalore. Otherwise,
Sir,
there is
till
no
we make
improvement.
systematic changes, this corruption will not go away. Mukund from Bengaluru. Mukund, what are the issues you're facing? Tell us.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The BDA and BBM are the worst organizations which are managing Bangalore. What they have to do is they have to boycott a coming BBMP election, and they should vote only the people, candidates rather than the political parties by using e-portal. BBMP doesn't need any politicians to look after it. It's the individual and the citizens to the management of BBMP.
Right, sir. Kartik from Bengaluru, I'm very short of time. Kartik, what are the issues you're facing? Tell us about it.
देखिए मैडम, आप काफी देर से मतलब होल्ड नहीं किया हुआ. देखिए किसी को ब्लेम करने का कोई प्रॉब्लम ये नहीं है
जी
अल्टीमेटली हाउ टू रिजॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट
जी
देखिए मुंबई की बोल रहे हैं वो कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट का प्रॉब्लम है कांग्रेस बोल रहे हैं मुंबई का प्रॉब्लम है देखो प्रॉब्लम वो नहीं है प्रॉब्लम इज सच द पीपल हैव टू कम आउट फ्रॉम द क्लच दैट्स ऑल.
Well, sir, I hope that the government is listening. I'm going to take my last caller. I'm very short of time. Shubhangini from Bengaluru is also with us on the broadcast. Shubhangini, tell us what are the issues you're facing? All right. I don't think I have Shubhangini. We have Mr. Satya Prakash from Bengaluru. Satya Prakash, if you can hear me, what are your issues?
Every month, every year, is corruption in Bangalore city, Mahanagarapalikhe. Every month, every year, corruption in Bangalore Mahanagarapalikhe.
Well, sir, that is a resounding issue we have heard from all citizens. Mr. Mishra, I'm going to give you the last word in this debate because our viewers don't want to listen to the political blame game. They want solutions. Can you present any solutions for the government of the day today? Mr. Rao is listening.
Chief Minister is having a meeting tomorrow.
Yeah.
That meeting also, essentially the IT Minister is having a meeting. He's inviting people who have absolutely no stake. I think government has to be serious. Don't do a PR management. CM comes and, gives a PR statement, 300 crores. Most of this money will go wasted, either in corruption or in mismanagement. I think they have to have a plan. I want to see the CM should have said, okay, fine. In next 30 days, I will do this. Next 90 days, I'll do this. Next 6 months, I'll do this. He doesn't have a plan, nor his officers have a plan. Yes, and now this becomes an opportunity also. The crisis.
To do that and
let him finish, sir. Mr. Yadav, please let him finish.
Let me complete. Yes. The disaster is also the best opportunity for corruption. And I believe even this 300 crore will be siphoned off without doing a meaningful creation of infrastructure.
Okay, I'm short of time. 20 seconds to you, Mr. Rao. Will the government present solutions when the Chief Minister holds a meeting without the political blame game?
30, 60, 90
Surely our CMG will have taken efforts. As Sir told, there is a meeting which is being held tomorrow. Even the non-stakeholders have been called for taking the views, and 100% the views will be taken and the needful will be done. And
Mr. Rao, I'm watching
as
an informed
considering
citizen
the magnitude
and
of the situation.
What the government does, because these are our cities which are being affected. Mr. Madhu and Rao, Nagaraju Yadav, R.K. Mishra, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast. And I also thank all the callers and citizens who made a call today and joined us on the show. We hope that the city finds solution. And these are mid, long-term and immediate solutions that the Bengalurians really, really need at this point in time. Now, the key question also arises is that will this urban mayhem also lead to jeopardizing the startup ecosystem in the city? Joining us on the broadcast is Jitendra Gupta. He's the founder and CEO of Jupiter Money, one of the leading entrepreneurs, someone who shifted from Mumbai to Bengaluru, hoping for a better life, ecosystem and a better city. Jitendra, as a resident of the city right now, you and millions others are suffering. Who should we hold accountable? Because we just heard political blame game from our netas.
Any city which grows so fast, and if the government expects the city to thrive or the ecosystem to thrive, they need to pay adequate attention to the infrastructure of the city. I mean, the basics are missing in the city, which is like the drainage system. There is simply no adequate drainage system which are there. Like when you even drive your car on the road, even in a normal day, you realize that drainages have not been provisioned. So this is like how can a local government or municipal corporation forget basics of the local roads and how the roads have to be built?
Look at the conundrum, Jitendra. This is a city of innovation, technology. It does not have its drains silted. What has gone wrong?
The government here in Karnataka specifically, at least the more and more I'm observing, by the way, I moved to the city just like 12 months back. I used to be in Bombay for the last 24 years.
Yeah.
And I'm realizing the government here is more focused on showing what they're doing instead of doing the work. And the actions and words don't match. Like I was reading the news last week that the government wants to put a unicorn symbol outside the airport. What is that use? There's no use of putting that symbol if you cannot provide better roads or even the basic roads to the people working here or the people working in the startup companies.
Well, that leads us to the concern. Is there a real threat to the startup ecosystem within your circle of founders, entrepreneurs? Are they having second thought about the city?
In a city like Mumbai, where there used to be so many startups, people moved out of Mumbai, maybe towards Bangalore or Hyderabad or Pune, just because of one single reason. The cost of living in that city went very, very high. And now I see the same thing happening. While the Bangalore has got adequate attention in terms of the startup ecosystem, there will be only one reason why people will move out of the city, the civic infrastructure. And if they do not pay attention to it, I would be surprised if the ecosystem stays here. I think the ecosystem sooner or later will move out. So government, if they want to keep ecosystem thriving in this state and city, they have to ensure that the basic infrastructure, no fancy infrastructure, the basic infrastructure is being provided to the citizens here.
That's a very resounding warning that you're giving us. The Chief Minister announced a package of about 300 crore and more to come for compensation and relief. Do you think that helps?
Anusha, I would say that we don't care about that compensation or anything. I think we care if those 300 crores are plowed back into making the infrastructure right. I is what it matters. I mean, who cares for government's money to come to us? Nobody cares, frankly. So we just want this to thrive. We just want this city to work for its citizen. So from that standpoint, my request to the government and the state officials would be that plow back that money into making the infrastructure right. That's it. We don't need any compensation.
All right, Jiten, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. And I think one thing is a key takeaway that if you don't have your basic urban infrastructure sorted out, the startup ecosystem that has been created in the city, for which it's called the IT capital of the country, is in a danger right now. A lot of entrepreneurs having second thoughts. We'll continue raising this issue at 9:30 p.m. on Brass Tacks as well. With that, it's a wrap from my side. Akanksha takes the news forward.